Hey and welcome back to my corner. About 2 months ago, we talked about Halo Combat Evolved, the game that came prior to this one. If by any chance you haven't seen the video yet, go check it out. I'll put it in the card on YouTube and on anywhere else. I'll just put it in the link in the description. Now, Halo 2, which came out in 2004 on the original Xbox and Windows, it had it all. It had dual wielding, it had online multiplayer, it had the most infamous legendary. Hey, remember the ring we blew up last time? Yeah, we're back. Because we blew up the ring last time, Del Vadamy, the elite right there, is on trial. We get some backstory that the Pillar of Autumn was fleeing Del Vadamy's fleet, and they were pursuing the ship all the way from Reach. Which that's a topic for another video, so let's move on. Next, we find out a very significant detail. That the ring is, for some reason, a religious symbol of the Covenant.
Yet the humans were able to evade your ships, land on the sacred ring, and desecrate it with their filthy footsteps.
Then Del Vadamy has a very reasonable response which condenses to, I agree it was bad, but the flood showed up. And once he herded the chief, the ring was already gone. But the irrational idolatrous council decides to sentence Del Vadamy to death. As Del Vadamy is hauled away to his punishment, we cut to Earth. And yes, this is the first time we ever see Earth in a Halo game canonically. Then we find out that the Master Chief is getting a brand new set of armor because apparently his last one wasn't good enough.
Tell that to the Covenant.
And we go through these annoying ass tests again because apparently we did not go through enough of them. And unlike last time where the annoying tests were at the very beginning of the first mission, in this case, the test is an entire mission. I guess Star Wars isn't the only one to just revive a character that shouldn't have survived this. I don't know what else to say. He must be invincible. You know what? I'm testing my theory. And let's turn you on. Alright, loading back into the armory. Alright, let's see what happens if I stick Sergeant Johnson. Oh my god, he is. Well, I mean, that certainly explains this. We then go with the Invincible Man himself to be awarded for our bravery on the first ring. Cut back to Del Vadamy receiving the death penalty. After watching Del Vadamy get electrocuted, we go back to the ceremony. After Johnson receives the medal, we cut back to the execution. The brutes then proceed to make Del Vadamy naked. Commander Keyes receives a medal, and yes, Captain Keyes had a daughter before he died. Del Vadamy, who is still alive apparently, gets branded like cattle. Going back to the ceremony, a Covenant armada shows up, and we now have to deal with that. Time to grab a weapon so we can go to this door so we can kill everything. After going through some more scenic areas and preventing some more boarding parties from being, successful, we discover something nasty about the Malta. The fact that it went supernova. So after going through some more boarding parties, we find out another nasty thing. The Athens went bye-bye. It's at this point we finally realize that potentially the Covenant also brought a bomb on, the ship we're on. So it's time to go into outer space. We then go back in temporarily to find these damn drones. We go back into outer space very briefly, just in order to get to be able to disarm the bomb. Lucky hunch. Then we are welcomed to probably the most awesome cutscene in all of Halo, where Chief promises to give the Covenant back their bomb. And if you don't know the full story of Halo 2, this was supposed to be a full mission, but that got cut and condensed into a cutscene because of, to say the least, time restrictions. And you know what? I'm going to be generous. I'm going to let the rest of this scene play out. Are you calling me fat? And now we're going down to the Earth's surface, specifically Kenya. because the Covenant decided to attack New Mombasa. On top of Sergeant Johnson being literally the invincible man, he also gives a rousing speech.
Humanity, we regret being alien bastards. We regret coming to Earth. And we most definitely regret the Corps just blew up our raggedy-ass fleet. Hoorah!
God, Halo 2 is so good. All of a sudden, we discover a giant-ass scarab that shoots us down. Wow, deja vu. And we're supposed to hold here and move through the streets, but I just decided to, skip all that. Then I screwed up grenade jump and we're back to normal. Time to meet man's worst enemy, the Jackal Sniper. Eventually we make it to Hotel Zanzibar and we go through it because for some reason this place has no substance, and we eventually get a warthog. I mean, I know I don't have my driver's license yet, but this is Kenya, so I think driving here is okay. You know what? I'm actually gonna Google this. What is the driving age in Kenya? Shit. We illegally go along the beach from Hotel Zanzibar to the tunnel opening. And from there, we go to the tunnel until we make it to the bridge. Illegally. Then Sergeant Johnson drops by and gives us probably the best gift he'll ever give us, a tool that will make us the most powerful son of a bitch on the field. And I don't even want to know the illegality of driving a tank in Kenya as a minor, but if you know the illegality of it, comment below. After making it through this new tunnel and going back on foot, we discover this horror section. Now this footage was captured on normal, but for the context of this being a horror section, there are 11 Jackal Snipers here. And this is what it would look like on Legendary. And it took 20 minutes and 40 seconds to beat that one section. And I was using the bandana skull to make it easier. After making it through that horror section, we finally make it to another horror section with, instead of 11 Jackal Snipers, there are only 2 now, but there are also 2 wraiths. Finally, after dealing that, we make it to the rooftop, where we finally see a scorpion that wasn't the one we just drove. Yeah, we're all gonna die tonight. Despite that, Obama and I are gonna take out the Scarab. Just kidding, he didn't do anything. Maybe you should learn to code instead. We let the Scarab get to the end of the track so it stops moving for once. We jump on it and then kill it. The giant Covenant ship decides to leave Earth in atmosphere, which causes basically a nuclear-like explosion, and we decide to follow them. And by the way, this explosion is the one seen in the very beginning of Halo 3 ODST, but that, again, is a video for another time. Oh my god. Okay. The hell are these guys doing, dragging a corpse?
He's not meant for the jails. The higher-ups have something special in mind.
Wait, so he's still alive? How did he not die from all of this? Although Thelvadamy bears the blame for the destruction of the first ring, I guess the Prophet of Truth knew the whole time that he wasn't a heretic, so instead of executing Thel, they're gonna make him an arbiter. That armor is so cool.
What would you have your arbiter do?
Well, for one, you're gonna kill a bunch of heretics. So real quick, let's review on what the Covenant is. They're a group that worships their gods and see the Halo rings as their artifacts. And the way to make it to salvation is to either die in combat or to be killed by the rings. I mean, calling the Covenant a religion is like calling fake meat good or Biden a good Catholic. I guess he would fit well among the priests and school teachers. Next, we're on a mission to find and kill the heretics, but in the meantime, we're listening to this rousing speech.
On the blood of our sons, we swore to uphold the Covenant, even to our dying breath. Those who would break this oath are heretics, worthy of neither pity nor mercy. Even now, they use our Lord's creations to broadcast their lies. We shall grind them into dust and continue our march to glorious salvation.
We managed to find where the heretics are, in a station in the atmosphere of the planet that was right next to the ring. We land on the station, the Arbiter gets out his energy sword, and... holy shit, we're the Arbiter now? Turns out we are. Let's get in there and kill some heretics. Which, by the way, they're the ones that are correct about everything, but we'll brush that aside. Tomato, tomato. After going down the elevator, we discover some good old sentinels. Next, we let the Phantom into the hangar, and then clear out this room, and then continue down each hallway. We find the heretic leader getting into a Banshee, so then we decide to get into a Banshee and follow him. Eventually, you make it to this spot where the heretic leader landed. I say eventually because either you can make it here really quickly by going straight from where you get the Banshee, or you can go through that pointless Phantom escort. The gang decides to enter this room, and it isn't exactly the most pleasant experience. Namely, the fact that the Flood is back, and you can't even aim at the infection forms anymore. God, that's just a great idea, Bungie. Just like Destiny 2. It's like if Nintendo made a knockoff Wii. And it's a free game I paid $5 for.
Yeah, I'm an idiot.
You know what? I'm gonna give Destiny 2 a chance. And I'm gonna be extremely unrealistic here, intentionally. If this video gets 100 likes, or if this segment on TikTok gets 1,000 likes, I'll play through Destiny 2. We eventually make it to where we can escape. Just kidding. After our long way down on the elevator that wasn't nearly as painful as the book, we make it to another flood containment unit. Technically deja vu, but in the last game we were playing as the Chief, so technically not deja vu. After we escape this room, we make it onto an elevator so that we can go outside. Some more Covenant troops land, and we continue to chase the heretic. Well, the head one anyway. Like the little coward he is, he locks himself in the protection room. It's now up to us to force him out. How are we gonna do that? We're gonna cut this cable that keeps this station up. Yep, I see nothing wrong with that. We come down, and even though that heretic hasn't escaped through the door we wanted to come in through, he left it wide open. I mean, what idiot does that? We grab a Banshee, chase him to this point, and then chase him all the way backwards through the entire level, until we make it back to this hangar. We're reintroduced to 343 Guilty Spark, otherwise known as a Prophet, and as he tries to explain what the hell is going on, this heretic decides to shoot at the Arbiter, ruining all chances of staying alive. Tartarus picks up the Arbiter and kidnaps 343, and hey, all of a sudden we're back to the Master Chief. Hey, remember this? Well, we're on the other side now, and we've discovered a brand new Halo ring. We decide to land on the ring because that's always a good idea. Except this time, we actually have a survival rate. And we're one of the badasses that came prepared. After holding out against enough waves, we finally get a Warthog. And God, what's with all the deja vu? We drive to this point where we find a bridge that has been raised. So naturally, we lower it and... we had our fun, but unfortunately the Chief won't be driving the tank for the rest of the game. Yes, I did specify the Chief. Be patient. After a natural sniper's alley, we finally make it to this room where we find a projection of the Prophet of Regret. The Prophet of Regret tells us his plans to activate the Halo ring, which we can't have that. So we make it through a few Covenant squads across this gondola ride to make it to this other tower. From there, we go through an underwater elevator ride section thing to another tower. But before we could even do that, the game just crashed. Yay, time to reboot MCC. Then all of a sudden, my console crashed too. But thankfully I had a checkpoint, so at least I didn't lose much. After that cool underwater ride, we went through this glass tube full of enemies. Next, going through a cool underwater room with a butt ton of Jackal snipers, not nearly as much as Metropolis though, and 2 hunters. Because we needed that. And then out of nowhere, the game crashed again! That's just great. Let's just reload MCC all over again. Are you f***ing with me? The console crashed again? And for context, no, this isn't because Halo 2 is some advanced game that the Xbox One can't handle. It was originally an Xbox game. My Xbox 360, which sounds like a lawnmower, can run it perfectly fine. Thank God. What as a species with these issues would we do if we did not have checkpoints? And great, time to go through another glass tube with the gimmick being this time, all the enemies are invisible. Time for another underwater elevator, and I hope that the game doesn't crash again. Oh, thank God. Yay, we're finally outside. Time to take another gondola. Well, we're starting to get some serious company, so we better handle this quickly. And we take our opportunity to kill the Prophet of Regret. Yay, that's 1 prophet down, 3 to go. All of a sudden, this Covenant ship right here decides to glass where we are, so we take a jump in the lake, and then we get pulled down by whatever the hell that thing is. It's RB time. The elites are being replaced by the brutes because they've lost the trust of the prophets because the Prophet of Regret was killed by the demon, aka the Master Chief. Even though the chief theoretically wouldn't have been successful if the phantoms weren't turned away by the prophet, but whatever. We have a new mission, to retrieve the sacred icon, aka the index. So we get sent down to the ring to get it. There's an eventful landing where we almost die but don't, and then we move on. Going down this ever long slide down, we find some more sentinels. Yay. Fun fact, this is the only mission in the entire series that jackals are your allies. Hey, remember that one guy from before? Now we have to kill one just like it. Or just unplug the couplings and start the gondola so that it dies on its own. Yay, laziness. Time to go on this gondola ride. Oh shit, the flood's back. We kill this guy to open the door. Eventually we come across 2 Marines that are being ambushed by the flood. And no matter what you do, they're gonna die. And another fun fact, this is the only time that Marines are actually your enemy. That doesn't mean you should waste your ammo on them, because yes, you can kill them without any consequences. You won't get any points for it either, so you can do it if you want, but it's pointless. To skip the boring detail, because a lot of this mission is just copy and paste, we go through a bunch more indoor and outdoor areas, and then make it to this area. I mean, hey, we're on the ground now. We make it to this area where we hold out against the flood for a bit, and then the Phantom shows up. Also, I have 2 things to tell you. One, I don't know if I should have told you this in the last mission or in this one, but the flood can drive now. And 2, this is probably the easiest mission in the game. Eventually we find a scorpion, and yes, this is the one other mission you can use a scorpion in. But then again, it's slow, so why put effort into this when you can just be lazy? We're on the gondola and the shipmaster covers us. It's time to chase the humans. By the way, even on Lasso, this is the easiest part of the mission. And let me tell you how I figured that out. Now, I don't know if it's some weird glitch the developers didn't notice before the game released, or if it was just a spot that the developers used to test the mission progression of the gondola. But you can just sit here through the entire gondola ride, and not one enemy will spawn. After the gondola ride ends, we make it to where the sacred icon is. Looks like Miranda Keyes and Sergeant Johnson already got the sacred icon. So it's time to get into a fist fight. And after sufficiently beating them up, Tartarus betrays us. And no, he's not acting rogue. The prophets ordered him to do it. Remember getting dragged down that lake? Yeah, we're here now, and what the hell is that? Apparently the Arbiter got here too somehow. We meet the monitor of the installation, and somehow the Prophet of Regret, because somehow we didn't kill him. Chief and this thing known as the Gravemind explain to the Arbiter how his religion is false. They explain that Christ is not the brother of the devil, and you do not become a god in the afterlife, and on top of that, work-based salvation is false. Oh wait, wrong script.
Damn it.
He tells us that the ring will kill us all. So he sends Chief and Arby to 2 different locations. He sent Chief to High Charity. We witness the 2 remaining prophets make a speech about the sacred icon and how they have it now. And they talk about going down to the ring and lighting it. All of a sudden, the Chief crashes the party, and look where we are now. For God's sake, that was only the first 5 minutes. After successfully clearing this area out, we traverse High Charity. Eventually, we make it to the brig where we kill everyone, and break out 2 squads of Marines. I also magically get the carbine with 120 rounds. After breaking them out, we continue to hunt the 2 prophets. At this moment, we really start to see the schism within the Covenant as we see elites and brutes fighting. Eventually, we make it to the Arbiter's Mausoleum, where we see a squad of elites and a squad of brutes duking it out, with the hunters taking the side of the elites, of course. And this all happens to amazing metal. After making it to this point, we see a cutscene of Commander Keyes and Sergeant Johnson being hauled away to 2 separate phantoms. Then all of a sudden the Flood attacks, and one of the Flood infection forms latches onto one of the prophets, which the Prophet of Truth tells Tartarus to do nothing about. I take back what I said, Quarantine Zone is not the easiest mission in the game. This next one is. You can literally clear it without shooting. It's where the Gravemind sent Arby. He sent him near the control room of this Halo ring. And this mission's just about having the Arbiter realize his religion is false, by seeing how the prophets have lied and how the brutes are killing the elites. Eventually we get ghosts, and at this point, it's just a repeat of Quarantine Zone. The Arbiter facing certain death by the Wraith, and oh, it's the Shipmaster. And Tartarus and Keyes get dropped off at the control room. Going back to the Chief, we finally make it to where the Prophets were just as they leave, and we find the Prophet of Mercy being strangled to death. So out of mercy, get the pun, we put him out of his misery. 2 down, 1 to go. Now we just have to catch up with the Prophet of Truth before he leaves High Charity. It's here Cortana makes a very bad decision to stay in High Charity. And a Pelican comes crashing in, and either that was driven by someone from Connecticut, or the Flood are flying it. Oh shit, the Flood can fly now?
Yep.
We trek through High Charity as the Flood keep attacking. Eventually we make it to this room, which leads to this room, which leads to this elevator, which leads to the home stretch of this level. But watch out, there is a Jackal Sniper there. We jump into this fuel energy beam kind of thing that fuels the ship, just in time to make it into the ship before it leaves. By the way, there was going to be a Warthog run for this, but that got cut, so that's sad. And Cortana stays behind for whatever reason. But at least we aren't going to be around for the ring's lighting, so at least that's a plus. So back to Arby. These 2 elites decide to get to the control room to stop the ring from firing. Time to mount up in this Wraith to leave tons and tons of carnage. And we continue this until we go through the door where we meet an elite and 2 hunters. Fighting through various walkways, you eventually make it to the brig, where you proceed to break free all your allies, and you continue to where this giant-ass scarab is. Oh wait, it's controlled by Sergeant Johnson, never mind. So I guess the humans and elites are allies now, so that's fun. We work together to bust the door down, and I decide to bring a Banshee into the control room. We show up and talk to Tartarus for a little bit about the purpose of the ring, and uncover that the Chief, the Gravemind, and the Heretics were all right about the purpose of the Halo. Tartarus is in denial, so this ain't gonna end without a fight. Also, did you see 343 hit Johnson that way? That surely broke his neck, if it didn't kill him. Yay, Tartarus is dead now. Time to suddenly pull the index out, which causes the ring to fire a signal rather than the pulse that, kills everyone. We find out that the rings are now all prepped for remote activation. Where? From the Ark. Where's the Ark, you might ask? Even though that was originally going to be in Halo 2, that is a story for Halo 3 to tell. Cutting back to Chief, he finally made it back to Earth, and Lord Hood asks him what the hell he's doing.
Master Chief, you mind telling me what you're doing on that ship?
Sir, finishing this fight.
And there is this last cutscene where we see the Gravemind making his new home on High Charity, asking Cortana a few questions, and that's where the game ends. Can you tell this game was rushed? Also, something that should have broken Sergeant Johnson's neck or killed him. Nah, he's perfectly fine. God, he has to be the invincible man to survive that. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you liked that video. If you did, go ahead and subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss any of my future videos. And that's if you're on YouTube. Follow me on the other social media platforms, or if you're viewing this on Rumble, follow me there. Anyway, thank you for watching, and have a good day. See ya.